So you've brought in some new players and a couple have gone out, obviously Craig Farrell's gone out on loan. Do you feel your hands are a little bit tied because of the budget we've got here at York? It's well known that it's not very big, and obviously at this stage of the season it's hard to build your own team.
Yeah. Well, of course it's hard to build a new team, but sometimes you just bring in fresh faces to put competition on places, because that's one of the first things I picked up when I come here, that one or two players saying, well, it's the same 6 or 7 that are going to play week in and week out without, even if they play well. So I did hear one or two say that. So again, you know, you're always listening to what players say. So that made my mind up to try and bring some in. But, you know, 5 have come in and 5 have gone out. So, you know, you still got to balance the books. So you're not going to go daft. And we're not in that position. I mean, you can see by all the account figures that Jason and the board of directors have put out, and it's a worrying fact at the moment.
So from that, is it your philosophy to give everybody in the squad a fair run out?
Well, the reserves have probably been disappointing with the amount of games that have been called off, and you know, they've been rearranged when there's a first team game rearranged. So a lot of the younger ones haven't really had the chance to impress and show me what they can do. But you know, they've had 2 or 3 games, and probably, you know, they've been disappointed with their performances. So really, you know, you're thinking, people keep telling me they're near the first team, but they've got to deliver in the reserves before they get to the first team.
Do you think it's just good players off form?
It can happen. Confidence was really down low when I first came here, especially at home, and I couldn't believe it. You know, I think the first game, and they were getting booed off. So, you know, whether things have gone on in the previous 2 or 3 years at home, I didn't really look into the background of that, but that did surprise me, and that was a little bit of a concern.
Obviously on the supporters' minds is this terrible prospect that we are in a relegation dogfight. Do you think the current crop of players that we've got can get us out of the situation?
Yeah, without question, without question. Yeah, we're just trying to gel them into that team mentality, work on things, but probably from a coaching aspect, myself and Andy, it has been a little bit disappointing that some of the things that we keep covering and keep going over, and sometimes it looks like you haven't been prepared for games. And you know, I suppose the Rushden Diamonds game comes to the forefront of my mind at the moment, and you know, we did it all in training the previous day to stop the short corner. People know what the jobs are. And you know, we fell asleep and conceded a goal, and then we conceded the second one on exactly what we were doing in training the day before. So no disrespect, but we've always played at a higher level, so I think that sometimes the players take on ball quicker, but our job is at this level, and we've got to make sure that we keep getting it through to them.
The FA Trophy has been a kind of happy part of the story. Obviously now only 1 step away from Wembley, but do you think that's maybe been a distraction that's affected league form? I mean, I noticed the Rushden game, very disappointing, was just after a good performance against Howden. Maybe I think that's the swapping and changing of the sides a little bit. You know, I look back, and it has been a problem that we've had sort of like 3 or 4 cup tied. You're trying to rest players at the right times. You know, they've had a lot of games, and you try and freshen it up at the right times. We've had 6 on 4 bookings, Brodie's on 9 bookings, and if Brodie gets booked against Weymouth on Thursday, he missed the semi-finals. You know what I mean? So there's loads of things been going through my mind. So yeah, I've probably chopped and changed when maybe, you know, if it was next year, you'd probably say no. I'd probably say, well, if you get your bookings, you're out the side. But it's important that we don't lose the likes of Richard Brodie, especially with 2 massive games coming up. What's your assessment of the level of support you've received from the fans? No,
the support is good, but I can tell there's a little bit of dejection in there. You know, that they're not happy. I think with the things that have gone over the years, they still class themselves as a football league club, which again they were 5 years ago. But you know, they are in the conference the same as Oxford, Wrexham, you know, Rushden, Mansfield. I mean, the league clubs that are coming down now, you've got no divine right to get back up, and you know, the only way that we're going to get back up is by investing and getting better players in. But at the moment, I think the club's predicament is more important than, you know, the overall outcome.
If I can finish with a question about the future, obviously for one reason or another you're the 6th manager now in 6 seasons we've had at York City, and we're crying out for some stability. Do you think you can build a dynasty here, a managerial dynasty, perhaps something similar to the one that you played under when you had John Rudge at Port Vale? No,
that's a great question, and it is important. I think the manager's tenure nowadays is what, 14 to 15 months, and all you keep hearing is promote the youth and this and that, but managers aren't long enough around to actually see that. So no, we need a plan. You know, a 2-year plan would be enough, easy at this level. It's whether a case there is some money to inject on the playing side, because I think the supporters all know it needs it. Sometimes a change of personnel, you do need, you know, the overall structure of the club. But I wouldn't say we're a million miles away, but I think the ones that cost money are the goal scorers, and they're the ones that are winning games. I've seen a lot of games, conference games this year, and they've been very, very tight, but that little bit of quality in that final third wins your games, and but they do cost, and at the moment we haven't got that money to go and get the finished articles.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, Martin, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.